heard that, Rip? Halt! The Oracle Laureate sent ahead to expect someone matching your description. However, he said nothing about admitting questionable allies. Members of Auntie's Choice are not permitted inside Laplace's garden. Your companion will have to wait outside.
Huh. If only one of us could have foreseen this situation. But I'll stay back, Commander. Ain't no reason to cause a scene.
You should heed the wisdom of your friend.
Yeah, these hues suit my complexion real good.
As likely as I find that theory, we have rules and regulations for a reason. We are at war, you might have noticed. Laureate Beckett did impress the importance of not delaying you. Very well, head on in. But behave yourselves. The garden is something of a fragile ecosystem.
Impressed as I am that worked, I ain't sure about this. Being vastly outnumbered by the enemy ain't a corner I like to be backed into.
Not an enemy at the moment. Oh.
Agent, I have a message for you. On behalf of the Order of the Ascendant and her impermeable wisdom, the presiding bishop Ruth Bassar, welcome to Laplace's garden. The presiding bishop is presently indisposed, but I've been instructed to direct you to the Artificer Laureate for whatever pressing matter has brought you to the garden. She's working in Belvedere Hall's secondary courtyard. Enter the large building at the top of the mesa ahead and follow the first hall on your right. The Artificer Laureate is head of the Department of Applied Scientism, overseeing the exemplars, or craftsmen, of our order. Weapons and technology all fall under her purview. Oh, yes. The Vicar did ask me to direct you to him. How positively forgetful of me. He should be waiting for you in Belvedere Hall's main courtyard, at the top of the stairs. May all your problems precede solutions.
Time to see if the rumors about this place are true.
Smart researchers patronize the Scientician Surplus. Quality goods at algorithmically determined prices. Interested in receiving our...
Welcome to the Scientician Surplus. I am the Scientician in question. Any inquiries about the stock may be directed to me. Of course you would.
Reed Rothschild, Junior Archivist, Class 4 of the Archive. Today I would like to talk about irresponsible.
Agent, over here. Ah, there you are. I was informed by Gertie you've agreed to help us reconvene negotiations. With your aid, Auntie's Choice and the Order will soon be rivals no longer. Just think of all we can accomplish if our two sides reject fractiousness and combine our efforts. Remember, seek out ways to help both sides. Engender trust. Gertie and I will let you know when it's time to move forward. In the meantime, I might recommend you work on honing your oratory skills. Our presiding bishop and Auntie Cleo can be challenging to debate with.
A visitor? It's for the best that you're talking to me now instead of mid-work. I do seem to have a slight propensity for stabbing randomly with my tools when interrupted, but I suppose that's enough time spinning in the statements column. Speak away. What are you... Beckett. Another prediction that he hasn't seen fit to notify me about. A more cynical exemplar might posit his doing this to be intentional. If you're here, I imagine you aim to petition the presiding bishop for her support, which is hardly a surprise. She is the most important individual in Arcadia. I'm glad we're in accord. The presiding bishop's leadership allows the Order to act in Arcadia's best interest. Without her, we would be nothing. The corporate invaders will suck Arcadia of its resources and cast it to the wind. And the Protectorate are no better than machines. Moreover, once we solve the universal equation, it will benefit all of humanity. You, me, everyone. No more suffering, no more doubt. First, there is the matter of proving your aims align with ours. To that end, there are some elements that need erasing. Do so, and we may begin to speak of your desires. A myriad of cultists have taken over the settlement of Newton, which is a nearby site of historical but not strategic significance. I want them gone. Once there was a bridge stretching from the settlement to the archive, but it was destroyed by a rift. Best keep your distance should you travel there. I'll withhold my appreciation until this task is complete. May you act within the equation's confines.
Probably best to mention this to Asa before we smear blood all over Newton.
Asa, you might follow a ruinous religious doctrine and be driven by irrational, bloodthirsty urges, but you're a rather effective killer, and I respect that.
That means a lot, coming from such a ruthless purveyor of death. Wish you'd let yourself really get into it sometimes, though. Get your face and hands drenched in blood.
That sounds disgusting, dear. Though I do appreciate the sentiment.
It's strange how I ended up here, leading the cult. If I hadn't started traveling with you, I may have spent my days hunting down the members I thought traitors and never realized it was Dagmar until too late. You may not have noticed, but I have a tendency to be a little impulsive. Reckless, even. The cult needs me. They need my certainty. It was my deep faith that brought me through this trial, and it is my faith that will restore them. And I'm not discounting your part in all this. Like I said, without you, I'd be dead. The cult in ruins.
Commander.
You're back. Was beginning to wonder if you'd gotten buried in a snowdrift. Did you kill those yay-saying bootlickers good? Good. I'm glad I put my faith in someone who can accomplish what needs doing. Here's your reward. Now get along. I'm as likely to be buried alive by my paperwork as the snow outside.
rift should cause us no problems now that we've acquired the modulator.
You there. You need to leave. This is a holy site, traitor. Those shunned by the Dawn are not welcome. Did you not hear me? You must leave unless you wish to be ushered into perfection before the rest of this architect-forsaken colony. But please, give me an excuse to kill the betrayer of our exalted leader.
Betrayer? I am the savior of the glorious Dawn. I will speak with your local hierarch at once.
I don't... that is... I can't. Hierarch Wolcott! You're needed over here! So, the power to manipulate rifts. That seems, let me just say I apologize if I've offended you in any way.
Wolcott? Wolcott's your hierarch? Shit.
Well, look here. I never expected to see you again, Azahelia. Here to spread more deceptions like your broadcast.
Of course. It's so simple even you can understand, Wolcott. She was setting us all up to be political pawns. Our deaths were to be proof of the Consul's superiority as a leader. But the only thing your imminent and excruciating death will serve as is proof of your incompetence.
Glorious Dawn! Attack the interlopers, now!
Enemy in evisceration.
company. My aftermarket parts are prime.
What in the fuck is happening to the Glorious Dawn?
I found what I was looking for. No need to continue messing with the Dawn's communication devices.
Ah.
I always find I work best when undistracted. One could say I find the cultist at Newton quite the interruption to my focus. Now, how might we be of use to one another? I shall allow myself a moment of relief. Moment passed. I'd hoped killing the cultists was its own reward. But you may also take this. You've proven yourself well, but we have recently experienced a pivotally important, unforeseen development. One I must meet directly. Can I count on you? One of the satellites comprising the Hyperion web was struck by a wayward craft and crashed on Paradise Island. I need someone to recover an informational component from it. I hope your zeal is properly placed. The Protectorate soldiers guarding the crash site are unlikely to let you close, unless something else is made to arrest their attention. I cannot say how that might be accomplished, unfortunately. Some of our scholars find answers to their solutions at the CAF integration point. Perhaps you might do the same. Collect the data from the crashed site and return it here. May the odds prevail against your bloody demise.
I'm cutting you off there, Charles. That's your third conviction today. People will start to worry. Welcome to the CAF integration point. Will it be caffeine or convictions today? Convictions are statements which promote personal and professional confidence and well-being, leading to 22.9% more scientific breakthroughs in a given quarter. Interested? Strength? Good choice. I take mine the same. Here you are. And don't worry yourself over payment. First one's complimentary. I haven't spied you around before. New project appointment? Must be an adjustment, all things considered. I'd have run the mugs through the autoclave twice if I'd known the garden was receiving visitors now. All right, your turn. What questions have you got percolating in that mind of yours? Laplace's garden is a glimpse into Arcadia's future, should the Order achieve victory in this conflict. Such an outcome, however, remains to be determined. Consider the garden a proof of concept. Here we have an ideal society where everyone contributes to the plan without any threat of distraction. In theory. Not at all. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have complete faith in the plan, would I? Kind of you to say, but I merely prioritize salience over eloquence. Too many in the Order forget how to be people while they're pursuing godhood. You know, I'm actually nearing the end of my shift. If you're amenable to continuing our chat somewhere more private, I think we could both benefit. Right this way. You must be curious why I asked for such a discreet rendezvous. Allow me to whet your appetite for intrigue a little further, shall I? I have adequate reason to believe the Order is conducting a mass experiment on the population of Laplace's garden. The Order is not cultivating its perfect, plan-abiding society through careful ideological pruning, as the laureates would have you believe. It's simple pharmacology. Put bluntly, they're regulating the emotions of everyone in Laplace's garden through drugs in the water supply. Why would the Order want to create a society of undistractable little academics whose only desire is to advance the plan? I wonder. I'm limiting my water intake and using other pharmaceuticals to combat the effects. It's not a perfect system, but it works adequately enough. Moderate your volume, please. No one here is in any immediate peril. Probably. The Order claims the subjects here supposedly consented to participate, but it was begun prior to the schism with the Protectorate, so who's to say? Regardless, if the Order has made some kind of pharmaceutical breakthrough, imagine how useful it might be to certain parties to know about it in advance. I represent a group of information traders who would pay well to get their hands on a sample of this drug. Interested? Nothing nefarious, if that's the needle in your conscience. We only mean to study the drug and consider all of its many applications. I know that must read as terribly vague to you, but I'm not at liberty to provide more detail than that. All you need to do is enter water reconditioning and collect a sample of the drug. I believe they call it Perspective. This passcode will give you access to the main terminal. Watch the guards patrol before making your way into the facility. If worst comes to worst, I wager Laureate Beckett also has a keycard on him, but that might be tricky to lift. Lately, he's been sitting near the fountains, performing his silly little breathing exercises. If he's not there, then he's likely in conference with the presiding bishop. Whatever you do, be discreet. I can't have any laureates asking questions about me. Understood? One more thing before you leave. Outside of work, I have, let's call it an alternative inventory. You'll have to pay, of course, but I'm sure I have something that'll make your job a little easier. And I'd like to offload some of this merchandise. Sounds like a win-win. You're back. Any luck with the sample? I'm charmed my name was among the first to populate your thoughts when attempting to work this problem. I have some Protectorate contacts, and I might be willing to lean my elbow on the scales in your favor, but not until after I've acquired my sample.
If you need to discharge any sputum, I ask you kindly aim such accretions away from my general direction. Thank you. No, not asleep. Merely waiting. I have no idea. Sometime last year, I predetermined an occasion of momentous import would happen today, right here, at these very coordinates. Oh no. You know what they say about having too many totalizers on the same sum? Precisely. Oh my goodness, it's refreshing to converse with someone so like-minded. Leslie Beckett, Oracle Laureate, Seer Supreme, leader of the Department of Predictive Analysis, and not terribly good at informal introductions, evidently. Forgive me if I don't shake hands. I prefer to keep my skin microbiome free of exogenetic cells. You'll understand. But now, if I'm not mistaken, you must be the agent we've been expecting. I knew loitering at this location would yield results. I don't suppose you've stumbled upon any of our excogitation chapels around Cloister by chance? Excogitation chapels are order residencies where one can meditate in solitude on specific theorems relating to the plan. They're scattered all around Cloister. Prior to the war, such focused study led to all manner of breakthroughs, with audio logs routinely kept by the scientician in residence. In these unprecedented times, such logs could harbor hidden wisdom. However, with the war on, I've sadly been unable to get my hands on the last of these recordings. Oh no, I couldn't possibly ask you to endanger yourself by seeking out these logs. Cloister is rather treacherous, and some of the chapels are difficult to reach by design. However, if you happened upon these chapels and recovered these logs, I would most certainly be interested in their contents. By my reckoning, the amount of logs to be collected is 4. You have that? 4. No more, no less. Each chapel should have at least one somewhere inside. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. How do you know about that? I mean, that is quite the allegation. I deny it effusively. First, answer me this. What is your interest in this matter? As much as I relish the idea of entrusting a stranger with sensitive and potentially incendiary information, I shall have to decline further comment. Perhaps if you were to help me out with recovering those logs I asked for, I could be more amenable to sharing knowledge. But let's put a pin in that for now, shall we? If there's nothing else, I would like to return to my deep breathing exercises.
That's one way to become the center of attention. What I have a feeling that's... Oh dear.
Guns cocked and loaded. Just get the
Nothing!
Architect, preserve us. Damn Nancy's and their propaganda. Take this, you piece of poorly designed refuse! Ah! Take this!
Do I hear hammering from the other stations?
Don't question it. Just be glad I brought a load lunch.
It seems rather extreme. Are you sure you can't simply unbolt it?
As I already stated, the weather has iced over the bolts. They require the application of concussive force before they can be manipulated.
ready to waste it. On your command.
Big regret this coming here.
Take the heat off you, Commander. Just say win.
Trouble ahead. of sight and on the way. Let's get you healed.
That facility looks cozy, don't it?
What was disruptive?
Vexation grows as this drags on. Just what are they up to? We'll find them. Sure as eggs.
Practicing some battlefield medicine.
This setup's all kinds of wrong, if safety's any concern. Guessing it ain't. In which case, we might as well try our luck with the N-ray scanner to reroute power.
If it's behind glass, it's valuable. I say we smash and grab.
Aggressors near.
I repudiate all vapid commercialism.
Might be a wild idea, but what if we crafted some of this rift gunk into ammo? Bet it'd be awful lethal.
Let me handle this. Got out alive, and with a weapon of apocalyptic proportions. All in all, a profitable day.
Don't fucking move.
cultists have made camp over there. Sure would hate to interrupt their little blood sacrifice or what have you.
The architect has honored us with this divine rift.
Look alive, Commander.
I'll take care of him, Commander.
Rats tingling. All charged up.
That is not a place I go. Okay, guys. found the buildings. That's a thing. That's also a thing. Let's test this thing. Oh, I like it. That's dumb. Okay. Surplus. I'm okay with that. Okay. I'm stealing from the Sabrosa.
So, you folk just drop into a war zone, find an empty building, and set up
Come
shop?
in. Let me know. Let me know if you're looking for anything in particular.
I like the look of it, but I'm not gonna.
Feel free to use the workbench. Just don't break it.
No telling how many folk got caught up in this. Every life taken, dozens more are shattered.
What the heck? Oh no.
hell of a fight took place here. Guessing the Protectorate won.
Huh. I did miss up here, apparently.
Do your own research.
The Oracle Laureate hoped that sending me into desolation would mend what he saw as wounds in my mind. The first few weeks were horrible. Grief dogging my every step. Nightmares of my murdered colleagues. But then, the nightmares began to ease, and the grief ebbed away. What replaced...
Hello. So, I'm trapped. Messages to the Order left unanswered. Tried to run. Got about 2/5 of me gouged out. A lot of blood. Last now, spent much of my life wondering what I'd say at the end. Trying to think of the words for this felt like reading a thesis before the presiding bishop. But a lot of people die, and not a lot of final words get remembered. Certainly no one will hear these. So why worry about being meaningful? What matters is who I was when I was alive. And if I was predestined to be Ursapod food. I think maybe I would have liked to re-roll the odds.
back, folks. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. What was that?
Beckett was right. Solitude has been good for my studies. In just 93 days, I have made extraordinary progress deciphering the truths of our universe. For instance, there are none. None whatsoever. Objective reality is itself a concept invented by subjective observers eager to apply reason to chaos. In light of that view, better to assume we are all sleepwalkers, sharing the same dream of consciousness. We are the universe, attempting to know itself. Wow. Life-affirming, in a way. To think, I almost walked out into that blizzard last week.
How did I know that was gonna happen? Okay, ducks. Let's do the things.
Waste them, or your command.
It's a brawl.
Let's try this again, Rao. Auntie is bringing the free market to Arcade. The free market is what allows anyone to choose their path in life. The free market is good.
Free market? Ah, preposterous. If it were free, anyone could take what they wished at any time.
It ain't free like that. It's free in the sense that it's been liberated from outside control. The Earth Directorate, later some.
I look forward to the reclamation of the Hyperion web. Hopefully you shall facilitate that. Now, how might we be of use to one another? The purveyor of convictions? Not possible. She's too public. Troubling. Here I was hoping we were currently at our maximum of potential problems. Though it chagrins me to be unable to help. You should speak with Laureate Beckett. Delicate matters such as this are more his purview than my own. If there's nothing else so pressing to discuss, I'd like to return to my work. Yes! Excellent! Take that, reductionists! Your horrid little surveillance devices shall finally be used for what their purpose should have been! Don't tell anyone about that outburst, please. Here's something to keep you quiet. Not by a factor of thousands. You'll have to tell me about your scholastic experiences someday, colleague. I've informed the presiding bishop you're coming to speak with her. She can be found in the room off the main stairwell. I'm sure I don't need to say this. But if you even think about bringing harm to Ruth, I shall know. Be on your very, very best behavior.
The Order has always proclaimed patience as a virtue, but I am pleased my waiting is finally at its endpoint. For so long, you have only existed as numerical values on a chart. A bright star in a constellation of possibilities, as it were. Now with your arrival, the Order nears the totality of its goals. provided you are willing to stay aligned with our cause. Prudent. Now then, I gather you already know who I am, but science has shown that good manners strengthen developing relationships by 5.3%. So, allow me to introduce myself. I am Ruth Bassar, third presiding bishop of the Order of the Ascendant, supreme calculator, and, plan willing, the architect of Arcadia's prosperous future. I admit, when I sent my initial message, I did not exactly know who its recipient would be. But I trusted the plan, and lo and behold, it provided you as the solution. Your recent exploits at Greater Tranquility Station have certainly made for compelling reading material. Confronting an assassin, and thereby sparing the delegates' lives before the rift inexplicably destroyed the station? Such a commendable effort is worthy of acknowledgement. If your actions were so easily imitable, then we would not be speaking right now. Accept the credit. However, there's something of even greater import we must discuss. I just received the most curious transmission from Auntie Cleo. She wishes to discuss a partnership of sorts, and I heard you were the source of this plot. I must admit I have significant doubts about colluding with an entity like Auntie's Choice. Why should the Order agree to even entertain the possibility?
Simply put, we got the troops, the firepower, and the know-how to beat the Protectorate. Respectfully, I think we both know that your forces can't do that on their own.
Military support loses its usefulness quickly in times of peace. It is that which gives me pause, among other concerns. Wise enough to recognize the perils, too. But the right course often involves remaining open to new possibilities. Auntie Cleo has already proposed a secure conference room on board the Undisputed Claim for our use. I will await your arrival there to mediate.
Residents of La Paz Garden are not permitted beyond this point.
Hey! Only security personnel are permitted in this booth. Leave. Please.
is the foundation that Auntie's Choice Society is based upon. Not because we worship this, but because...
I hope I have the speech for this.
Look who it is, the instigator of this little affair. Her mathematicalness should be along soon, unless the leader of the Order's too busy crunching numbers to attend to business.
There we are. Apologies for the delay. We were resolving some technical issues. Cloister's atmosphere has a tendency to...
Oh, yes. Regale us with a thorough account of Cloister's atmosphere. Spare no detail.
This must be Auntie Cleo's trademark wit. I expected better. If I was discourteous, I apologize. So long as our mediator proves up to the task, surely we can remain civil. If not, these negotiations may prove short indeed.
From where I'm positioned, I sense 3 sore points still in need of massage. Point 1, control of the archive. Point 2, oversight of production and distribution of skip cores. And point 3, management of Rift technology.
Before we go any further, I want it in writing that the Order will take full control of the archive without interference from Auntie's Choice.
What? So the Order can set it fruitlessly idling for another few centuries? We would put it to far more practical use. Imagine the marketing strategies it could develop.
I would sever my own hand before giving custody of the archive over to a corporation. Humanity's ascension depends on its calculations. No, such a condition is out of the question.
I am amenable to that proposition. Less work on our part.
I'm waiting to hear an argument that would support such a ludicrous proposal.
No one said anything about paying, but, it would be a pittance compared to the future profits we might derive.
Involving money in science seems questionable. But having access to Auntie's resources would be useful for our research. Fine. Yes, I agree. Reluctantly.
Ruth, I commend you for being so receptive. And I assure you that Auntie's Choice values science. Nothing bad has ever happened when science and commerce are combined.
On the subject of science, it would be most prudent for us to discuss who will be overseeing the management of skip drives, specifically the production of skip cores.
No one understands production like we do. Besides which, we have far more experience using skip drives. It was how we came to Arcadia, after all.
Where Auntie's Choice manages, the Order would undoubtedly excel. Do not exclude us from consideration merely for lack of experience.
So you ramp up production? And then what? Hand skip drives out for free to whoever wants one? Preposterous! And a waste of a perfectly good monopoly.
We would be diligent about who we licensed out the skip drives to. And a monopoly over space travel is precisely what I wish to avoid. This technology should benefit all humanity.
Exactly right.
I will want to run some calculations to be sure, but I'm willing to concede on this point for now. There is still the question of who takes possession of the Protectorate's rift technology once the war is finished. Although the science is still largely theoretical, this technology could be used to not only close rifts, but create new ones. A dangerous power indeed, left in the wrong hands.
The Order would fritter away valuable time endlessly hand-wringing what to do with the technology. Auntie's Choice would actually use it. For good, of course. In a gainful manner. A 50-50 split? But that's so equal. I generally consider anything less than a majority as practically a loss. But fine. If Ruth's open to it, I believe I can agree on the general terms here. And, well, we can haggle over minor quibbling details like percentages later.
I shall look forward to brokering the math with you, Cleo. There is one final matter I wish to discuss. I require some chemicals that I have been told are manufactured at a plant on Praetor, controlled by Auntie's Choice.
I know which plant you're referring to, Ruth, and what comes out of it is hardly safe for general use. Out of professional curiosity, what could you possibly need with such dangerous compounds? Running a little experiment, are we? On what? Or whom?
That is, quite frankly, none of your concern.
Precisely. Partners don't withhold secrets, although they can and probably should withhold extremely dangerous chemicals if not properly notified of what they will be used for.
I will make no progress with my request without further explanation, will I? While the Archive is an infinitely complex machine, an equally complex apparatus has been designed which allows one to interact with it directly. Brain-to-logic assembly, as it were. Unfortunately, this headgear exacts a rather tremendous cost on the wearer. A certain panacea is needed to survive it, but I require these chemicals to finish it. Certainly, but nothing I'm not prepared to suffer.
And I thought we were the ones who threw caution to the wind. Well, Ruth, if worst comes to worst, I'd be happy to serve as a substitute teacher for the Order.
A generous offer, but I fear you lack a certain number of qualifications. Conscience, for example. That math is confidential, but I have enough reason to believe the outcome will be favorable. I did not anticipate needing to fight for my own physical autonomy, but thank you for respecting my choice.
Oh, how it's delightful to me to see you squirm. All right. I'll get you your weird chemicals. I'll even provide you our corporate discount, practically wholesale. Best I'll say is today's outcome is workable. Barely. Our gains were not as exclusive as I had hoped they'd be.
Arriving at any arrangement even remotely equitable was statistically improbable. Be glad our mediator managed to find a middle path forward. As am I. You certainly have a way of curving probability into your favor.
Well, that'll be all for today. Don't forget to purchase the latest in Auntie's Choice products out on the value-added Esplanade, or enjoy a refreshing cocktail at the Best Choice. And do come see me personally when you have time. I have just the thing in mind for an accomplished freelancer such as yourself.
One moment. There are still the logistics of recapturing the Archive to consider.
We'll of course provide our expert troops to support these efforts. Have your people call my people to sort details. Doodaloo!
Brusque as ever. Auntie's troopers will certainly help us manage the Protectorate forces easier, especially if supported by your help. But it would be irrational to expect you to endanger your own life without a more specific strategy in place. Fortunately, I have already given this some thought. First, we must reclaim Spireton from the enemy. Spireton once served as the Order's headquarters, due to its proximity to the Archive. Its loss was an affront, and remains so. Unlocking and calling that lift can only be done from within the Archive, however. So you will need to infiltrate the Archive by alternate means, via a bridge connected to Newton. Fortunately, I am told you already dealt with the cultists there. Unfortunately, you will still need to find a way past a small rift currently blocking the bridge. Ordinarily, I do not fancy surprises, but you are proving an exception to that rule. With such a device in hand, bypassing the rift should be as rudimentary as pie. And perhaps at some later date, you will also permit our scientists to analyze this gadget at length in one of our labs, provided all goes according to plan. There is a computronical key that you will also need to locate within the Archive called the Calcaduceus. The Calcaduceus grants special access to the Archive. Once it is back in Order hands, we will have full control over its systems once more. Rift data. And how did you come by this acquisition, if I may ask? It troubles you what you had to do to get this data. It must have been a difficult choice, but difficulty is not a metric useful in judging a decision as right or wrong. Something hard is only hard. Time determines the rest. Until the Order has control over the Archive again, this discussion is all but moot. You know what must be done. May you achieve progress in accordance with the plan.
I never would have foreseen this day would come. You are exceedingly unpredictable, Commander. In a good way. Mostly.
What's up?
We've successfully co-opted yet another of our rivals. Can't believe those eggheads accepted the deal. What's next on my agenda?
That outside contractor is here. You requested a brief tete-a-tete.
Ah, there you are. Our fresh-faced new go-getter. We meet in the flesh at last. You've proved quite useful. Keep it up. You'll be going places. You don't seem much put off by my appearance. Good. I have no stomach for those with no stomach regarding me having no stomach. It is, however, something of a brand secret reserved for only the most trusted confidants. And covered in detail buried within the confidentiality clause you agreed to on arrival. I trust this presents no concerns for you, yes?
Well, ain't meaning no disrespect. It's just everyone was saying that you were focused on a product launch or avoiding assassination attempts. That's why you weren't seen in public.
Poor dear, believing that erroneous drivel. You do know I have a reputation to maintain. I can't let every rung leech know my condition and open the door for plotting. I ask again, do you have any problems with the previously mentioned stipulations? Seems there's more to your shrouded past than I'd been led to believe. And here I'd been ready to disclose all. No matter.
Not exactly. Well, exactly. But not in the way you think. We have a mission for you that is vital to Auntie's Choice's survival.
we've uncovered an opportunity to procure me a new, audaciously improved replacement body. There was a past proposal to utilize grafts, but oh, once I saw what happened to those misfortunates in the experiment, like your hanger-on here, the idea was promptly abandoned.
Wait, are you saying that the grafting program was only started up to help you with your condition? And was shuttered because it couldn't?
Yes, keep up, dear. You think we would have invested money in such a risky procedure for gains on the battlefield? Well, that's what bombs are for.
That means your scientists lied to us, and our suffering didn't mean anything at all. Is that right? Me and mine were just lab sprats to you this whole time?
This is what you signed up for. Tell me, did you also believe that we came here to solely liberate Arcadia and not for its resources? Oh, you did. How sad. The body I want isn't just some simple yet stylistically sutured together amalgamation of corpses to bolt my head atop.
Not, this time, at any rate.
No, to find me the perfect body, you'll be assailing an inappreciably populated automated automech factory over on Praetor. That facility was designed to build complex automechs, a natural choice when the Protectorate began experimenting with a proxy body for the original Sovereign. It was the last in a long line of his ill-fated life extension experiments. Work halted when he died, and the torso prosthesis they developed has been locked in the lab ever since. Make it mine.
There's a sub-facility beneath the automech factory. Its entrance, being hidden, is easy to miss. But we can show you how to find it.
Well then, fetch me my new body and we can finally begin bringing this system to heel.
Even with half our team's 32 bats benched, they forfeit by middle time. It would be an embarrassment of body goals. Imagine the ad windfall. Our athletic assets would achieve full profit potential as human.
Wait, really?
Anti-Cleos was specifically founded to fight inflict.
Thanks for watching.